Welcome to Senior Insights. My name is Cynthia, and today we're going to talk about so many things that you won't be able to remember them all. That's because you have poor memory. Either that or you'll say, has she said this before? Anyway, for anyone who's new here, we meet every single day. We would love to have you join our community. It's a great community. I'm convinced it's the best community on YouTube. Of course, other channels might disagree with me, but I'm just saying. So if you're here new, we would love to have you like, of course, only if you like it, and consider subscribing and commenting, because we really sincerely would love to have you. Well, yesterday's video, I don't know, I wasn't really happy about it. I was talking about gross foods that your parents made you eat, made you make. Well, maybe they didn't make us make it. But there were a couple of things that I left out and that were very important to me, and they were the ones that originally gave me the idea to talk about that stuff. So I'm just going to go over that and let you know there's a few things that I have omitted in the last couple of videos that I thought were really important that I wanted to share. So the one about the gross food that your parents might make you, my mother used to make us raw eggnog. And she used to make us drink it before we went to school because it was good for us. I know my sister right now, she makes eggnog with raw eggs, which is fine. I'm not afraid of the raw eggs, but I don't like the way my mother used to do it. She used to just crack an egg, pour some milk in it, and shake it up. So you had all that slimy white, egg white. Ugh! And if you took a swallow and then you had this big blob of mucus, that's what it was like. So that's what I forgot to tell you yesterday. Then, one of the funniest things when I was over at Carol and Vinny's, well, first of all, people were confused about who they were. They are my daughter's in-laws. My daughter, Erica, I have one daughter. She's married to Jim, and this is Jim's mom and dad. So they're Erica's in-laws. But some people thought it was Kevin. Remember when I had the steak delivered by DoorDash? He pretended he was DoorDash or some one of those delivery services. Anyway, that was Kevin, and that was Gay's son. So you better write these down, because I have a tendency to talk about my acquaintances and people that I know. So I want you to become familiar with my friends, because we're all friends, right? So make sure you recognize that. Then, one of the other things that I did today was I was checking my emails. I didn't have many, I have mixed feelings about emails. I like them, but they take time for me to respond to, and I feel like I have to respond, and I want to respond. But, just one or two a day, that's fine for me. Of course, you can't control that, can you? But, okay, what was I going to talk about? I don't know. I don't know what I was going to talk about. I had a good day today. The weather was fabulous. Oh, I'm recording the night before you're here. But don't let that stop you. Just keep coming. Somebody's bringing the chocolate muffins. I loved the comments and the interactions today. They were awesome. You guys are great. What can I say? So I told you about the eggnog. I told you about, I guess that's all I told you about. I'm reading I wanted to tell you about Carol and Vinny's house, because I didn't tell you what we had for dessert. I told you what we had for dessert. However, we had cheesecake, and it was fabulous. It came from a special bakery in Brooklyn. I think they said Bob's. I don't know. I'm wrong. Bob's of Brooklyn or something like that. It's supposed to be a very famous cheesecake place or bakery, but I had never heard of it because I'm not that well-rounded. But anyway, they had them in the freezer. So then he had to go down. The freezer is downstairs, so he had to go down to get them. He didn't get them until we were going to eat them. So they were in the freezer. Do you know what a piece of cheesecake is like when it's been in the freezer and didn't have time to thaw? Well, we found out. We found out the other day. We had so much fun. I think I have a little clip that I'm going to try and put in here. If I can figure out how to do it. I still don't know how to do this stuff. But anyway, we were stabbing it with, pretend this is a knife. We were going like this. And then we were going like this. And then we were saying, oh, this is really good when it melts in your mouth. And Vinny comes over and he says, let me help you with it. He comes over with the steak knife. And he's going like this. It was like he would be chopping a hunk of ice off a nice block, with a nice pick. Anyway, the cheesecake was delicious, and it was fun, and I had a great time. We all had a great time. We were just laughing about how silly we were. So I wanted to share that because that was part of that big, weekend video that I was telling you about, and then I totally left it out because I forget. Even sometimes if I have, I write down key things that I want to hit on. I don't have necessarily a written script. I don't know how I forgot that, but I did, so I wanted to share that with you. Did I already go through that they are not, I can't remember. A lot of people were confused about who Carol and Vinny were. They're my daughter's in-laws. I better pause this and figure out if I'm doing this wrong. Well, I paused it, and I watched it 2 times, and I couldn't figure out if I told you or not. So I'm going to tell you again, and just put it on mute if you heard it already, or just go get yourself another cup of coffee or something. Carol and Vinny are my daughter-in-law's in-laws. My daughter's name is Erica. She's married to Jim, and it's Jim's parents. The steak and corn on the cob that was delivered by my friend Gay's son, and his name was Kevin. So some people were confused about that, and I know that I don't speak that clearly. I just put in a text to Dustin to please help me, because I'm noticing that there's an echo or something. It's more than my voice being hoarse. I got to figure this out. But anyway, so that's it. I told you about the cheesecake. Well, today when I checked my email, I got this message from Holly, and Holly shared a link to another channel that she thought I might be interested in looking at, and just looking at it. And the name of the video was Before You Turn 80. And it's done by a gentleman, I forget what his name is, but he's 77 years old, so he's my age. And I think he's been doing this channel for quite a while. His information was really good, and he was quoting studies that have been done on elderly people. And one of the big conclusions is that people in their 80s are actually happier than we would think they would be, and that they were when they were younger. So I would encourage you to watch that. And, I might steal little tidbits, but he said it very well. And I don't know if he subscribed to the channel, but he did come and he did watch, and he did make a comment. So you can maybe find his name in the comments for today's video. Yesterday's video. Today, it was yesterday's video. Anyway, so the name of the thing was Before You Turn 80. And he talks about 4 different points of things that happen to you. They happen to all of us as we're approaching 80, and especially when we're in our 80s. So give him a look. Then I started reading. I told you I've been addicted to books lately, and I have been reading. I read at least 1 book a day, or maybe sometimes it takes me 2 days. But this book that I'm reading now, I can't do it in a day. It's almost 900 pages. It is a fantasy. I know a lot of you probably don't like fantasy with dragons and dragon riders and dragon battles and defending the city and all this. But for those of you who like it, I'm going to tell you the name. It's called The Fourth Wing, and it's a series. I'm not sure how many books are in it. I just started it today. And this is book number 1. It's called The Inferion Book 1. But it's called The Fourth Wing, Inferion Book 1. EMPYREAN, Book 1. All you need is The Fourth Wing, and it's by Rebecca Yarros. And typically, fantasies and dragon stories are kind of young adult stories, but I think that this is actually a more mature version of a young adult, people in their 20s. So I am really enjoying it. I had a hard time putting it down to come over here and talk to you. So it's stiff competition with you. So you should... No, maybe you shouldn't look at it, because then you won't want to watch Senior Insights. Forget I recommended that book. I don't want you to watch it anymore. Oh my goodness. I made ice cream today. I had to. Woody's going to be upset with me, but he told me that if I really like ice cream, then I should eat it, then I could eat it. He gave me permission. I made chocolate, and I haven't actually had like a dish of it yet, but I scraped the beater and I scraped the bowl, and it is really good. Remember I said I wanted to make orange creamsicle, like orange sherbet, but I was looking into it, and it's a little, you have to make the vanilla ice cream, you got to make the sherbet, and then you got to twirl it together somehow. I thought that was really too much, but Elizabeth, who is my dear friend, she's been a supporter of this channel since day 1, or very close to day 1. She doesn't join us as much as she used to, because I think I don't know, I don't think it meets all of her needs. But she said there's a brand of ice cream called Turkey Hill, which I am familiar with. It's available here. Do you have it where you live, Turkey Hill? And she says they have an orange creamsicle flavor that is to die for. So I said, well, why should I make it with all this big production when I can buy it? So I'm buying it. But you know what? I'm really pleased. As I'm making the ice cream, I'm figuring it out better and better. So the ice cream seems to be coming better and better. But for those of you who are concerned that I'm eating too much ice cream, I haven't had any in about 4 days, because I've been trying to make it, but I just haven't had time. And speaking of time, remember last week I had that meltdown about being like so many things to do? Well, this week, today, I had the day off. Tomorrow I'm bringing you-know-who to the airport. And don't tell me that I should tell him to get a Uber. You know why? Because he helps me out with Quinn when I go like on a vacation. He'll take her for a week. So, one hand washes the other. And he's my good friend. So I'd like to tell him to get an Uber. But his plans changed. Initially, it was going to be 6 a.m. this morning. And I'd have to get up at 3 o'clock. And I did not care for that idea very much. I don't like to get up at 3 o'clock. I know half of you that watch this, that come in the morning, are up at 4 and 5. I think plain vanilla Grandma watched it at 3 a.m. the other day. She was early. She was trying to warm up all the seats for everybody. Then some lady got up and went to the bathroom. I don't know where she lives. I have no concept of the time zones, And she got up to go to the bathroom and her phone dinged and she said, "Oh, Cynthia has a video." So she watched it at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's ridiculous. You need your sleep. But make sure you come back and watch it. Then some people fall asleep in the middle of watching it because it's so stimulating. But then they come back and watch it. So I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. But I wanted to tell you about Elizabeth and the creamsicle ice cream. And what else did I do? I vacuumed today, and I am totally convinced that the real electric vacuum is the way to go. Now, I know you're sick of hearing it, but I'm convinced. I also did some more filming of Quinny. She's tough because space is limited, but I have quite a few clips, and when you guys all leave, I'm going to try and play with it a little bit and try to practice some editing skills because, as you know, I don't do an awful lot of editing, so I'm going to try and do that. As a matter of fact, Evie, I was watching one of her videos the other day, and she was talking about clips. She was talking about something that she did wrong, and she's talking about clips. I said, "Evie, I don't even know what the heck a clip is." So she had to write in the comments, "This is what a clip is." So, but see, once you have clips, then you have to do transitions. It's not that easy for someone like me. But anyway, so I'm gonna play with that, and I keep teasing you about. I have my childhood pictures and that sort of thing, and I have those, but I'm trying to figure out how to do that the best. I think I might actually just do like a few and do a little story with them or something. I don't know. I don't have time. I was telling you, what do I have to do? So tomorrow I have to bring him to the airport. Then on Wednesday, I have to go for my hip. Now, this is the dilemma, and I'm sure I've told you this before, but you're my friends. You have to listen to me because I don't have anyone else to talk to. My hip has been killing me. It's my left hip. I already have a replacement on my right hip. It's keeping me awake night. I have to take, I just take Tylenol. It's not like I'm dying of pain, rolling on the floor, but it's extremely uncomfortable. And if you've ever had a hip, you can't turn your legs, your feet, inward or outward. External or internal rotation is what we call it. And it's hard to tie your shoe or to lift up your leg because you're using those muscles in your hip and it hurts. So anyway, 3 months ago, I had an injection in my hip. I had been having them. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I'm scheduled to have another one on Wednesday. However, on Friday, I'm seeing the orthopedic surgeon about my right knee. Now, I've had a left knee replacement, and now my right knee hurts. Well, 3 months ago, I had an injection in my right knee. When the last time I saw this doctor that I'm seeing on Friday, he said, "Which would you rather have done, your knee or your hip?" And I said, "Well, if you asked me last week, I'd tell you my hip." But I think I'll tell you my knee because it's really bothering me. Well, now my knee hasn't been bothering me. It's just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to say, just give me your suggestions. Tell me which one is the worst clinically. Can you see on an x-ray which is the worst? And then figure out what to do. So that's what I have to do on Friday, and then I have to pick him up at the airport again. And I don't know what time that is. So that's a busy week. Then next Monday, I have to bring my car in for service. And I'm really nervous because I'm getting up to the time where I have to get an oil change. You see, I have frozen the engine in 2 cars by not taking care of the oil. So now I'm getting really kind of anxious because it's getting down to the wire. So I have to do that on Monday. There's like something every day. And I worry because I don't know how I'm going to get back to you guys. How I'm going to do it. You know? I seem to manage to do it, but notice the scoop has gone by the wayside. It's not because I don't want to do it. It's because I can't find the time to do it right now. I'm thinking that, you know, as winter comes and you can see that it's dark, it's not that late. It's only 7:30. 7:30 in the morning. And it's dark. And somebody told me that it was going to be a really bad winter. Is that true? Does anybody know? Somebody said that the Farmer's Almanac, I think it was Gay, told me that the Farmer's Almanac said that it was really going to be a bad winter. And it's probably correct because we've had pretty mild winters the last 2 winters, because I can remember keeping my car down at the bottom of the driveway many times, which I usually can't do. I have to have a drink. So anyway, this wasn't really very funny. It wasn't very informative, but it is what it is. And I hope that you guys come back tomorrow. And I would like to ask everyone to please like and subscribe and comment. Tell me if it's going to be a lousy winter. Tell me how you defrost your cheesecake. Tell me if you like fantasy books. And I also, the other day, I don't know if you noticed that I posted a link to the Bridge to Terabithia, the movie, that someone was kind enough to send me that link, and it's on YouTube. So I haven't watched it myself. I plan on doing it, but then I get caught up visiting with you or reading. So I will eventually, because I think it's really a good story. Oh, this is the other thing. I was watching YouTube today, and I went onto Debbie's channel. That's all I talk about is Debbie. And I got hooked into listening to Anne of Green Gables. Now, I have been listening to that off and on. I haven't consistently watched it. I listen to other videos that she does. I do listen to all of the other ones. But I got sucked in. I couldn't stop listening to it. So that is another thing that's really pretty neat. She does a great job narrating it. So come back tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Thanks for coming today. Bye-bye.